Hello everybody, welcome to ZeldaSpeedRuns, broadcasting in Link to the Past Randomizer Challenge Cup 2023. We got Group W for today. It's WGarrison versus Cen7ipede. They are playing McBoss. Commentating for us are Zeruvian and Zeke, and tracking is Sorcerer Finch. Say hello everybody.
Hello everybody.
Hello everybody.
That was cute. Okay. Hi everyone. Welcome to this Group W match between these two fantastic runners. WGarrison definitely not a stranger to this scene, as he's going to take on a little map, compass, and boss shuffle against Cen7ipede. She's a little bit newer to the scene. These two players have already played once this week. We've seen Fad Keys. Zeke, what are we going to look forward to in this particular race?
Well, it's not going to be the folky sandy of Fad Keys, but you know those maps and those compasses?
Yeah?
They're still shuffled.
Oh.
But it's not the only thing we've shuffled. We have also shuffled the bosses.
Yeah, we are playing with a full boss shuffle, so all 7 bosses will... Well, there's 10 bosses. All 10 bosses will appear at least once. 3 of them will randomly be selected to appear as duplicate bosses in areas where they can appear, with a couple limits as to where some of them can be. You're not going to see a Trinex in Skull Woods or a Vandalus at the top of Hera, stuff like that.
Can you imagine trying to fight Trinex on conveyor belts?
Oh dear. I mean, it's already bad enough doing it on ice. We are going to get underway here. It is open. The goal is still 7 crystals to enter GT, 7 crystals to defeat Ganon. But of course, with the maps and the compasses shuffled around, we'll have to see a little bit of something else going on here for our runners to progress, depending on where those bosses happen to be.
We already have predictions on who's on ice. And,
Ooh.
Everyone's expecting Ice Trinex for some reason. And by everyone, I mostly mean Grey Corvid.
Yeah, there was a bias that used to put Trinex on ice a lot.
I don't know if it's been fixed yet, actually.
They fixed that, or I'm not sure. We'd have to ask if that was even something we're really too worried about. I think we'll cross that bridge when we get to GT. We might not even have an ice rod by the time we get to GT, and that's one of the things that can make this mode definitely something else. Let's talk about our runners here. We got on the right, we have Cen7ipede. She is, again, a little bit newer to the racing scene here in A Link to the Past Randomizer. She does hail from the SMB3 randomizer community, where she both plays and does commentary. She's fantastic over there. What do you know about Garrison, Zeke?
He's been around a little while. Go Mode Podcast Mentor Tourney 2020, I believe.
Yeah, this isn't his first rodeo in Challenge Cup either, finishing in the top 4 of the 2021 campaign for the Challenge Cup here with us. So he's back for some more action.
Worth noting, we had an early tier of... Oh, that was a nice bomb setup. Yeah, we had an early tier 8 bomb. So we're getting a little bit of bomb escape from Garrison, while Cen7ipede goes for kind of traditional save and quit from Uncle.
Yeah, so Cen7ipede's going to give us our first look at the Lost Woods and possibly the Lumberjack Ledge before heading into Kakariko Village proper. She'll probably also get these bombs. Yeah, she does. Garrison having 10 bombs to do escape. We're seeing bomb escape, which you might see more frequently if we saw standard boots.
And you can tell there's actually a fair bit of practice here, too. That first room went flawlessly.
One thing to note, because maps and compasses are shuffled, there is an additional item in Hyrule Castle. The key is still going to be placed somewhere, probably... No, we actually have it. The key was in the map chest, so...
The key was first, so technically if we find a lamp, we can go all the way through. That looks like a rupee.
Kind of did, didn't it? Well, hopefully we don't need to defeat Aghanim just for money. That would not be a good sign for this seed. In all honesty, we are probably not going to be bonking that tree down after we defeated Aga, if we do today.
You mean we're not going to go get the bounty the Lumberjacks have placed on the wizard that rules over the kingdom?
Listen, if the bounty's only $20, I can think of better ways to earn $20. All right. So now Garrison done with the front of escape. With that key, opting not to continue on because being able to see in Dark Cross is a thing when all you have to work with is bombs.
Part of it is he couldn't quickly death warp out either because, unfortunately, Green Guard followed him into the cell.
Yeah, he had to knock down the Green Guard, so you would have had to spend 3 bombs just to death warp at that point. That's not something you want to do. Not when bombs are going to get you these checks here in Kakariko. And here we have the Blinds Hut check coming from Cen7ipede.
This is the first time I've ever seen this Cactuar sprite, by the way. It is really funny.
By the way, money. That is a tier 2 of 4 times 20 rupees.
We have a sword.
We do have a sword.
Also, what are these street pulls, by the way? 8 bombs on 1 tier, 20s on tier 2.
Does that mean we have like full magics on tier 3 or something? I didn't see anything too exciting coming out of Blind's Hut there.
Just a sword. I'll be honest, I do like seeing a boomerang.
Boomerang's nice as a defensive item, especially if you run into... Assume you're swordless and you run into Dark World Access, like 2 gloves or something, and you just decide you're going to go to the back of Thieves Town and fight an Armos Knights. Well, you can actually defeat Armos Knights with a boomerang. It just takes a while.
We have Bombos Medallion and Blindswell. Well, Blindswell. Kakariko Well.
Kakariko Hut. We got flippers in Kakariko. Why would you drop those down there?
In case somebody fell into the well, they wanted to make sure that you were able to swim to get out. Oh, hey, our first compass.
I believe we saw one to Swamp Palace?
Okay, our second compass. Why are compasses important to this mode, Ruby?
Well, let's see. We have a boss shuffle. So again, there's a good chance that we have... Oh, geez, there's the glove. There's a good chance that we have bosses where they usually are not. The compass will allow you to map check in a dungeon, courtesy of an update we got back in 31.010, I want to say, of this randomizer. That might have been.
I want to say it was before last year.
It was something
before,
like that.
It was before last year's. Actually, I think it was before last year's Randomizer, or before this mode happened last year. I know because we had map compass shuffle last year too.
Anyway, if you map check within a dungeon and you have the compass of that dungeon, instead of the compass pointing to where the boss will be, we've added a little icon instead for where the boss actually is. Or rather, who the boss actually is.
And they're cute icons, if I do say so myself.
I like the Cold Stare one is adorable. Anyway, that's a glove that gets us the back of Escape. It also puts Zora in Logic with all this money we don't have.
I don't want Zora to be in Logic.
And now having flippers, we can't easily get the money to pay Zora. We do have the ability... Well, we can still hula hand using the Grave Drop, but that's...
At least we have a glove.
Cen7ipede opting not to pick up that heart container sitting on the race game. Interesting call.
My kind of play.
And with the sword now, she will go ahead and tackle the front of Escape.
I'm hoping to see one of these runners go for that back of Escape, just because... Like, in Centipede's case, I would have maybe considered getting the back of Escape first in case the key was there, which we know it isn't.
Yeah, what we know for sure is the key is in the front, and she has already obtained it. So the back of Escape's going to have 3 items, and if you feel like going the back way to Dark Cross, you can. But right now we don't have a means of actually being able to see. Again, not in Logic without a lamp or a fire rod. Still doable.
Especially for a runner with a sword, like Centipede.
Right. Garrison picking up this heart container. I'm going to be with chat here. If you're going to run around and possibly end up with shuffled bosses, there are bosses that do quite a bit of damage that can be in some pretty accessible locations.
Vitreous.
Cold Stare.
Vitreous.
Trinex.
Have we mentioned Vitreous?
Yeah. Cen7ipede also having to dispatch the green guard because he decided to be a bit of a jerk, and then using the boomerang as intended to stun the ball and chain. Ah, yes, my favorite boss to shuffle into a dungeon, Tower of Hera.
I'm now just imagining dropping into the closer fight, and suddenly you're in a Tower of Hera lobby. And you have to climb the tower to get the crystal.
There is a bow in the back of Escape. A nice weapon, not necessarily needed per se, depending on what the pendant crystal layout is, if you know how to do something that nobody wants to have to do at the endpoints of the game. But chances are it's going to be required for one of Eastern or Pod here, and is a very nice weapon if you happen to find certain bosses. Going to see the Dark Cross check from WGarrison. We'll talk about this group a little bit here. Again, this is Group W. We have 3 runners currently sitting at 2 and 1 each. They are WGarrison himself, Moar Deeps, and Tyrannus. Cen7ipede, unfortunately, still looking for her first win. This could be the one, because Map Compass and Boss Shuffle tends to be a little bit, shall we say, it's a gamble kind of mode, Zeke.
It can be, yes.
I did not see what we got in Dark Cross, but I'm not seeing anything exciting via the tracker that we see on Garrison's side. Oh, I should be more excited. It was 10 arrows, I'm being told. Okay. And Cen7ipede is going to confirm that for us in just a moment. Now, we are going to see this alternate way of doing the hula-hand, where if you just kind of offset Link's position to the camera, the game will be like, where'd he go? Where'd he drop into? Well, let's put him in the debug room.
Yeah, that is what that room is.
That is the hula-hand room.
Nice pile of money in there, too.
Yeah, $225. Well, rupees. Do you think they gave Chris Houlihan $225 for winning that contest?
I don't know. I'm still not convinced Chris Houlihan's a real person to this day. So
he's out there, he's got his namesake in a piece of game somewhere. He's just like living it up, like all smug. Yeah, that was me. They named a room after me.
Mm-hmm.
So back to Thieves Town. Again, no Dark World access to sniff out just yet. We have a glove. We don't have a Moon Pearl. Still looking for that hammer and Moon Pearl or another glove to give us a little more to work with here.
I still like that we put the main tournament winners in the Houlihan room.
Picking up a little more HP. Garrison opting to go over to Mini Molorum Cave. I imagine we'll probably see exactly the same from Cen7ipede too. So what do you think is our piece of progression here?
Master Sword and Lamp.
You just want to watch the world burn, don't you?
I'm just saying, based on how these seeds usually feel like they go, I've seen a lot of Aga seeds this tournament so far.
I don't want to talk about it.
Do I have to make fun of your race while I'm on commentary with you, like I did the other day with somebody else?
I mean, you could.
Yeah, you wouldn't. How about Moon Pearl and Hammer to get some Dark World? Is that better?
See, don't wish bad things on our runners. There's the Moon Pearl. If the hammer shows up in this last check, I swear to God, Zeke, I win.
Hey, Hey, Ruby.
Hey, everybody.
I would refresh your feed.
The dog show. How far behind am I?
I actually said that when the hammer came out.
Oh, okay.
So
I had no
would refresh
idea.
your commentary feed.
Good to know. But yeah, apparently we have Dark World access. Okay, good.
So we're probably just going to see a trip to, I forget you can't walk through that door while holding out a sword spin. I always forget that rock is a 50-50 rock.
You know, sometimes just knowing of a 50-50 rock is its own battle to win. Because then you have to play against the 50-50 to hope you get a bomb.
And Garrison is going to go check out what's in this Zora area real quick. And what else is up here on the Man Under Bridge. My favorite name is actually in reference to a runner from several years ago. I've heard this man referred to as Jim. Why Jim? Because of the runner Hobo Jim.
I got nothing. He's got nothing either, so...
So, you're the man under the bridge?
No! Do I look like Jim Bridger? I like that, actually. Oh, come on, game. We throw away a B and you give me another B? It is a B plus, at least.
Ooh. Centi has one small problem right now.
Centi is a little bit short on the money to pay the big fish, so if Zora has anything, she's gonna have to come back later with $65 more.
Have we checked our stun price?
I don't think we have. Or at least, if we have, I haven't seen it. Probably too busy staring at something else. Hey, look, 10 arrows. So she's just gonna turn around and save and quit.
Okay, I do find it funny we got that B there.
I have to ask where we're headed. She might be turning in the bottle, actually. We do have a bottle turn in. We haven't seen Sick Kid yet.
Yeah, might be doing bottle into Village of Outcasts. I was actually going to ask, if you get a glove and a hammer, what is your preferred Dark World?
In modes where I have no idea what's going on, I like to do Hype K first. In a mode where your prizes are known, it depends on, you know, whether or not I have the hammer, the fire rod, things that make going through Village of Outcasts a little bit nicer. In this particular instance, I'd probably go to Hype K first.
Fair enough.
And apparently Garrison agrees with me, because he is headed that way, and Cen7ipede is going to give us our first look at the Village of Outcasts.
Don't you love Divergence on Dark World? Also worth noting, that was a compass.
That was a very expensive compass. I did not see which dungeon it was for, though.
Yeah, I didn't either, but that was a red crystal on the town full of turtles, thieves.
Oh. Listen. Don't you start.
For those who've heard the two of us commentate in the past, we are bad at dungeon names.
Alright, Johnny has... Oh, Johnny loves you. Hey, look, Silvers! That actually,
Slivers?
if he can get to the back of this dungeon, that would imply a French vanilla fire rod. Then, depending on who's back there, he might actually have an easier time with those silvers. Oh, please be careful, Cen7ipede.
Yeah, taking a death in the Skulls overworld is not ideal.
No. In fact, it's pretty bad, because there's no easy way to get back. Garrison's gonna get some free information. I was waiting for it to say Ice and Meyer.
We already knew that Thieves was red.
Right, but we did not know that Ice was red. Actually, Ice is pretty blue.
Well, actually, Ice is red.
Ice... The
Actually,
prize
Ice
that
is
comes
vanilla.
from... No. You can't make me.
What?
Ice is in fact vanilla. And that is a red boomerang.
My preferred one. I'm not gonna say it's better, it's just the one I prefer.
It's the best meringue.
I mean, it's not the best boomerang. That's the green boomerang.
Wrong game.
And dying is faster than walking out.
Well, we're gonna dig for buried treasure. What have we got here?
I'm gonna go with a map. It got out before I could say what I was going to go with, so.
We don't have... Do we have the Skullwoods compass?
I don't know. I don't... You think I track compasses?
There's your ice rod. That is a very nice sight. You'd love to find that early as opposed to late.
Yeah. The ice rod is cool.
Oh.
That was forced.
It was so forced. I did not see what was on the bumper ledge that Cen7ipede just gave us a look at.
I like that from Finch. The Legend of Zelda, Link to the Bees. Shout out to Sorcerer Finch, taking time out to track this race.
Yeah, Finch was on the previous race that we did too, wasn't he?
Oh no!
And, well, at least that gives us a reason to go look at the sick kid check, which we've already seen from Garrison.
I believe it's actually another bottle.
Yeah, as it so often tends to be a little bit more of a joke than it really needs to be. And again, this place is going to the bees.
Yeah, that's the stinger of this.
I don't even want to. I don't even want to continue it. So, you know, what I'd be kind of worried about now is when do you go into pod?
Anytime now, because you can full clear it. You just have to do it in the dark. Oh no, Garrison's just a couple of pixels to the left of the switch.
Man, that is a blind sitting in Skullwoods. Alright, now we know one boss, at the very least. We have a little bit of information as to where the game might want us to go with the item set that we've currently obtained. 2 bows, a hammer, and a lamp. Oh, no, we haven't seen a lamp yet. I'd still be enticed to check out Palace of Darkness here, though. But we're going to see Thieves Town instead. And we have a Vitreous in Thieves Town? You know, if we get this big key, we can go ahead and just full clear here. With that hammer, there's really no reason not to. Except if you feel more spicy about going to the boss than going to the back of Thieves. It really depends on how many items you get in these front few checks here.
Yeah, that's worth noting. Boss Shuffle, this is one of the dungeons that's actually probably most affected by Boss Shuffle. Because normally we have to do that entire chain to get the maiden into the room. But, no such thing.
Yeah,
the boss is already there. We don't have to find a maiden that looks like a maiden with 3 heads to take a try next to the room.
So just imagine for a second, like having a miniature version of the actual boss that you have to rescue from the jail in Thieves Town. Somebody
should make a sprite portrait of the runner Trinex to use as the maiden sprite for a Trinex in Thieves Town.
By the way, we did see we've seen a sword that Cen7ipede now has Master Sword, but that's a mirror that Garrison's pulling out of the brewery there.
Also, those silvers are already coming in handy. Why are those in this dungeon?
I don't know. But they always seem to be, don't they? You know, with that mirror, we can go ahead and do Smith Chain right now. Yay! Actually, with that Bombos, that puts Pyramid Fairy into play already, provided we can defeat the boss in Ice Palace.
Centipede's going back in.
Oh yeah, she wants to see what else we got to have at the bottom here. And, you know, like I said, you can't really blame her. The small key showed up in the front, so there's at least one more item in the very back. In fact, I think everything's going to be an item after the big key, right?
Yeah, if we have the small key, everything's an item.
Yeah, this is a play that you can make to just kind of jump out of here, but the logic, this is an up logic sort of play. It's available with the rest of the dungeon. So if you leave something here for a while, it might be some time before you really push yourself to come back.
And the only item that could actually make this go faster is something we don't have. Well, actually, there are 2 items to make this go a little faster. We don't have either of them, and they're both probably important because one of them is hookshot, one of them is boots.
Actually, I don't think we saw that. I think that was the pot key that Cen7ipede was holding on to. So Garrison is going to go ahead and just do the loop now. Which means we probably have either a self-locking key, fancy that, or a key in Maiden Cell.
So it's either self-locking or vanilla?
I mean, the way the logic works is it would have to be vanilla to make the rest of the dungeon logical if it's not in the big chest, right?
Yeah, that's how the logic works.
It's usually good to imagine vanilla locations for anything at all. Cough, midst cough.
I still love this track.
It is a fantastic track. From a fantastic series of game. Garrison giving us the Etrian Odyssey series MSU tonight of his own creation. I hope Cen7ipede doesn't decide to save and quit out of here. She just got to pick up that key first. Because it's either going to be here or it's going to be in there. And if it's in there, you're never getting it.
Okay, we had a moment on my side where it looked like the screen's transition sound was like, oh!
Oh, that is a required item, I would dare say. And no mirror, Centipede's now kind of in a pickle. She could run into these Azics. They'll do a heart each to Blue Mail, so pretty easy, quick death worth there. Boom, out. Garrison's going to have the ability to mirror, if he so chooses. He's going to walk out.
Okay. He has to go kill the boss.
Yeah, he does have to go kill the boss. I don't know if this is faster than... I think it's slightly faster, actually.
It's probably not immensely slower, if anything.
It would be faster if you had boots to just mirror back, because then you're just straight lining, but... maybe. Speaking of mirror, there's that mirror for Cen7ipede.
Yeah.
And that is going to send her south the village of outcasts.
So, do you do Smith Chain now?
Well, she's gonna take care of Dig Game first, and then probably pick up the Smith. Yeah, I would think so.
Because in Cen7ipede's case, she needs to go down toward Hype Cave anyways for density, and Swamp Palace is now immensely tempting.
Yeah, that is a flipper, a hook, and a hammer, and we don't know what the prize is to Swamp just yet. Could very well be one of our crystals. Centipede's gonna dig up some extra money here after getting that map to Meyer.
Zora's still on the mind.
Yeah, I would think so, especially if you end up going to, like, Catfish. And haven't paid Zora yet. You don't want to end up leaving yourself in a situation where Zora becomes the most isolated thing ever.
Pendant Meyer.
Pendant Meyer and a crystal on Skull Woods we saw also.
A crystal skull, huh?
Uh-huh. We're gonna need a fire rod to take care of that. To have a little dance with blind in the back of Skull Woods. Now, Garrison, having already done South Dark World, is going to just go ahead and take care of the Smith Chain outright here.
I just noticed something. We're a fire rod from boss mode.
We are, in fact, a fire rod from boss mode, and that can happen very early in a run in this mode, and be like, okay, well now I just got to figure out what's what and where the rest of my, movement and progression items are to get to where I need to go. Right now, the only ones that could be holding us up are going to be, a fire source in the case of a lamp or fire rod for certain things. The boots, possibly. Cane of Samaria, probably. And more than likely, a flute and a medallion.
Flute isn't even the most required thing because we know that Meyer's a pendant.
Right, but that also might be our intended path into desert if desert's a crystal.
It's true. Which is why I said it's not entirely hinted at.
Unless the book shows up somewhere.
Book in purple chest?
I hope not.
Also, again, I love this MSU.
Now having a mail upgrade and a good amount of hearts, it makes perfect sense if you're Garrison to just start skipping the heart pieces.
I mean, skipping heart pieces is a common occurrence.
Yeah, heart piece, you gotta pick 4 of them up to every full heart that you find. Garrison's found a few. Cen7ipede wants it because she's still sitting on 5 hearts.
Yeah, Garrison is what I call the, I'm comfortable enough with Ganon because I don't have to worry about getting hugged in one shot. I was going to be mad if that was the book after I said something.
I'm glad it wasn't, like I said. It is just another piece of heart. And now it's time to visit Swamp Palace.
I mean, 8-item dungeon. Hard to say no to that.
And the game's all but pointed us to just jumping in here and calling it good.
So, Pendant Swamp?
Don't you dare. You know what I think, actually? We're probably going to see a flute in the swamp. Or, the fire rod in the fire rod room. The boss is a Trinex!
I hope there's a fire rod!
Ooh, the Garrison's going to say no. He's saying no to the Swamp Palace right now.
Interesting.
Even doubly interesting is deciding to save and quit. I think we're going to see a mountain play. No? Where are we going, Garrison?
I wonder if we're playing on the... We found a Trinex. It's now a little more palatable to go east.
This Eastern, our tracker, Sorcerer Finch, is saying, I do like the idea of going to Eastern with the ability to get to the boss. Now knowing that we have at least one Trinex sitting out there, more likely that there isn't one in Eastern.
Yeah, because now you know it's... At least, I still like to think that it's a... If there's another Trinix, it's on ice.
If there's another Trinix. There may very well not be. Oh, this is going to be pod into Eastern. I like it. There you
Meanwhile,
go.
Senti is opting... It's still a bunch of items. Let's go into Swamp. I like both these plays.
I'm not going to lie. If you get the Fire Rod in Swamp, you're probably sitting pretty here.
Mm-hmm. But if Fire's not here, that is a little slow of Double Dip. But...
Only a little.
It's only it's better than, say, double dipping Turtle Rock. Or, heaven forbid, Ice Palace.
I mean, Ice Palace with just Bombos, no Cane, and no idea if it's a boss we can clear. Honestly, I wouldn't mind Ice Palace here.
Green Pendant
It's
is
nice and
vanilla.
Alright,
Thanks,
we'll probably be clearing that out at some point. Just because. Oh, wow.
Hey! 3 of a kind! Slot machine work today.
See, all that ever pays out is 20, though.
Yeah. Okay, honestly, cheering about getting 3 big 20s in Saw's Closet is one of the funnier things I've done today.
It's better than 3 pieces of heart, I think. Yes, we had the Etrian Odyssey MSU on Garrison's side. Centipede's doing the other MSU that Zeke and I would jump on a lot. If we ever end up hearing her audio, we'll get to hear that.
Don't you love it when runners use MSUs we like when we're on commentary?
It's almost like it's scripted that way. It's not, but it's almost like it is. I thought we were going to get a stun prize check from Centipede, but she just left that Stalfos sitting there, just frozen in place.
Okay, so... Is it... Now we kind of have to go right side regardless, because... we need keys.
Yeah.
Now
and,
we
there's
really
gonna
need
be...
keys.
Yeah. Well, you're guaranteed to go get a key at a right side. In fact, you're guaranteed to get 2, because you can only have 2 maximum items in the front of the dungeon in Palace of Darkness. Meanwhile, we're going to get left side of Swamp Palace from Centipede.
Yeah, it's... We have that thing of left side swamp skip. It feels a lot less tempting when you do an early swamp dive, especially in something like MC Shuffle, because there's a guaranteed item over there regardless.
Yeah, no matter what, you are going to find 2 items on the left side of Swamp. Whether that's an item and a big key leading to a second item, or 2 items outright, is a completely different story. And could actually be beneficial here. $300, for example, is going to make sure that Centipede doesn't miss another purchase for the remainder of the run. That, on the other hand, can stay right where it was.
I'm going to be completely honest. I was expecting that to say swamp, map of this dungeon, just to prove us wrong.
Imagine a map to Swamp on the left side of Swamp.
The collapsing bridge. Don't you love the sound of falling tiles? It's... Oh!
Oh, you're not going to hear the sound of falling tiles in that much volume anymore because they will be fading into the distance with that pair of boots.
Is there an item in Harmless? No.
No, that is a key for a key. Centipede sitting on half a heart as she comes to the back of Swamp Palace here. Has to be very careful. Or else we'll be probably leaving this for later at that point.
There is a heart in that bottom right pot.
There's also 2 hearts in the room that she's about to approach, the so-called diver down room. Oh, she's gonna come up here first. Oh boy, this is an interesting decision, and I do like picking up that heart there. That's gonna save her. That's a flute in swamp. Oh no.
Yeah, that heart actually just saved her, by the way.
Yeah, that heart has definitely, it's done its job. That's another map, and probably the big key. Yep. And now you can just go up and turn in the big chest the mirror out.
Because unless it's fire, in which case you're going right back.
Yeah, you do 6 heart hammer trinax. Oh yeah, this is the staircase. The staircase. There is a way to.
There's actually several of them. Fun fact: there are several of them that do this in Swamp. It's just most of them we don't go backwards through.
And out we are. That flute is a really nice pickup for Cen7ipede. Because Garrison's probably going to wait until he sees a fire rod before going back into Swamp, unless he starts running out of locations.
So if a fire rod's over in the Mire area, that's huge for Centi.
Oh yeah.
And Centi's going up toward Hype Cave.
And since she started in Village of Outcasts, she hasn't actually been up here to visit Johnny yet. Gotta be... Yo, don't... Just dance through the spears, not into the spears. Are we gonna get a blind boss check from Garrison?
It looks like.
We're gonna get a blind and dark boss check from Garrison. He has no fire.
Well, not at least not any fire, lights, torches. He has plenty of fire.
He's got lots of explosions. Bombos. He does have boots.
I wouldn't say it's lots and lots of explosions. I say it's more of a ring of fire.
It's a ring of fire. Fire and I don't even know. We're gonna stop there.
Four.
The news. Well, that's a good start.
Did we get the other 2 though?
I mean, if he NMG'd this room, yeah, probably. He got at least one of them. He sure did.
Beautiful, beautiful performance.
So good, so good. It's better than trying to find where you are versus them in the dark.
That's usually what happens to you and me.
Right, we've already seen this from Garrison, but Cen7ipede showing you the fastest way to go check Jim Bridger down here. I'm going to steal that, by the way.
Oh, these guys didn't move far, did they?
No, it's you'd almost think this was convenient, in a way.
You have to be careful with this arena, I think. I think it is possible for them to get... I was going to be mad if that said of this dungeon.
I was waiting for it to say Eastern.
Yeah. I believe you can actually cancel silver damage by hitting the spikes as well, but...
Yeah, like any other damage cancel, you can accidentally bump them into the spikes, and if you do, well, then they take gold sword damage instead of silver damage, which is not lethal. In fact, I think it takes 6 gold sword shots to knock them down.
Correct. And
here we are, Independent Eastern. Now, I like this to clean this up while you're here. If you can defeat the boss, do so.
It's also not as slow as it could have been because we found some fancy foot. Oh, good.
That is a place for a mushroom.
That's if you're willing to give up the potential of fake powder. That's actually a really good place for a mushroom.
Yeah, seeing as Centi's likely to go and take this over to Catfish now, since she has the flute and can easily get over to the Pod Eastern area once it's activated. So I would almost imagine we might see a mirror whipped out here in just a second. There it is. And she's actually going to set up right in front of the door. There are a few ways you can actually... that actually might be good if you approach that from... Oh, she's going to just go off screen. There are ways you can set up the mirror portal that you just bonk off the bushes, and since you left the screen, the witch will be done processing that mushroom into... not powder. A shield?! I think the mushroom would have deflected more anything than that shield does.
Uh,
I like two
mean
shields, but one, no.
you mean you don't like your no name plastic shield toy?
I referred to
It only gets a brand name. It only gets a brand name if they're willing to sponsor us.
I've heard it referred to as a as a Fisher Price Baby's First Shield.
Not sponsored by Fisher Price.
No, not at all. Is Fisher Price even still? They still make kids' toys, right? They're
know.
one of the brands that haven't gone away yet. Catfish check, and it's just $20. Centi, remembering that she has a Zora to pay, is gonna pick up the 20 and go get her compass.
Our tracker is right. The Cactuar actually looks pretty cute with that shield.
Oh, that
That's a
is definitely probably required in some way.
Yeah, without that, runners will be blocked from doing things in Turtle Rock.
Could also be blocked from the right side of Ganon's tower while hunting for that big chelator. It adds some intrigue, too. We don't know what our last pendant is. It could very well just be TR.
You know what else that makes me really want to go do right now? Ice Palace.
Oh, it does make ice really tempting, because now you can just ice break and the whole dungeon becomes that much faster.
Especially when you factor in the other thing about Ice Palace.
Yeah, there's a couple different things that Ice Palace can do with its key logic.
Well, I'm not even looking at key logic, I'm looking at the end result.
Oh, you're looking at the 5-6 crystal that allows us to get into the pyramid?
Exactly.
Well, I'm thinking about how that cane might actually have implications if Cold Stare happens to have one of his own keys.
Or whoever Cold Stare has become.
Hey, Cold Stare in a Vitreous costume, or Cold Stare in a Lambolus costume, or, you know, it's still Cold Stare to me. Halloween? What do you mean Halloween's not for another 5 months? What?
Why did this... Wait, hold on.
This...
I'm sorry, it took me a second to realize what boss was. I was reading chat, and I was trying to consider for a minute.
By the way, that Cane's confirmed required is, according to chat, we've seen a map check of the light world, and Cen7ipede is showing us that we have a pendant on desert. We can get into Mire, too. Nice place for a sword, wow.
Do you like your sword to turn red?
I guess.
And we've been raided by the Link to the Past Randomizer channel. Which I know that they were doing a main tournament race. Actually, a main tournament race you and I kind of care about.
We have some stake in that race, as it was the ladder administrator Big Dunka playing against our teammate Drakey in Ambrosia.
But that has nothing to do with this race. That's a fetch quest.
It's a fetch quest on the green pendant. Welcome in those of you joining us here at Zelda Speedruns. We are playing Challenge Cup today. It is a Group W match between Ricky of Kokiri. No, that's a restreamer. It's between WGarrison, our group name, WGarrison, and Cen7ipede. We are doing a little MC boss show. I'm trying to keep it together, okay? Ricky will be playing later tonight against... You got James FNX, right? Am I remembering that right? Please tell me I have that right. Okay, that game will be broadcast here later tonight, if I'm not mistaken. That's at... Is that 9 p.m. Eastern? If I think... Oh my god.
It's McBoss versus Group W.
Anyway, you've got a... in this group, WGarrison is... oh, it's 9 my time. Got it. WGarrison 2-1, Cen7ipede 0-3. Cen7ipede looking to capitalize on a flute that we saw in Swamp Palace. Zeruvian bringing this to you with Zeke Highwind, Sorcerer Finch giving us all the buttons, and of course, again, our broadcaster is Ricky of Kokiri. Thank you, Ricky, for putting us on today.
And putting up with us.
He does that all the time, doesn't he?
So,
bosses we have seen so far. We know of a Trinex in Swamp Palace, but we don't know where the Fire Rod is. We've got a Blind in Skull Woods, but we don't know where the Fire Rod is. We've dispatched a Helma in Eastern, and an Armos in Pod.
And a Vitreous in Thieves Town.
And I think that's all we know right now. We do have all of our prizes. If you see the trackers, they've been updated to reflect the maps and compasses that between our two runners. We have seen that our pendants today are a vanilla GP on Eastern, Desert, and Mire, with the cane in Eastern Palace, and required for that Turtle Rock dive later on.
We're going into Ice Palace on both screens.
Yes, somehow we've ended up converging here.
Unfortunately for Centi, Garrison has a couple of tools that will make this dungeon go considerably quicker than Centi's trip.
Yeah, he's got a pair of running shoes and a cane of Samaria that's going to make this a very smooth dive for him. And
a
also
crowbar
an
of Samaria to get through this wall.
Crowbar?
Isn't that what we're doing to get through the wall? Just prying it up out of the ground and walking past?
Do we have a Gordon Freeman spite yet?
I don't even know what that's referring to.
The Half-Life. Crowbar was a very popular weapon for Half-Life players. Boots were in Pod, the back of Palace of Darkness, actually. And before a fire source.
Oh, the third advantage. The third advantage Garrison has is the swinging advantage.
Yeah, that sword that we got off of the Green Pendant boss there. Did he check the shovel? Or did he just come straight to
He went
Ice
to shovel. I just missed it because we were talking about a Link to Past Randomizer rating instead.
It was a compass. Did we know which dungeon it was for? Because that actually could be helpful.
I'm just going to assume Games Tower and call it a day.
Oh, okay. It's not helpful. Got it. It's a compass to Pod after you go clear Eastern and Pod. Thanks, game.
Oh, that's good. That's actually good information we just saw on Centi's side. The Stalfos Knights, who are guaranteed to drop items when you kill them, are in the Hinox prize pool.
So that whole enemy group will be dropping high value. And who else is in that group?
I don't know who else is in that group, but it's worth noting. Okay, that looks... Oh, that was one too high.
Yeah. Gotta be a little bit careful with this. Knowing your Ice Palace bomb jump... Oh, that looks good.
Yeah, that's good.
It was good. Heck yeah.
Yeah. What I was bringing up for is Stalfos Knights are...
Game? Oh, okay. It's just ignorable. You can just jump on it.
Stalfos Knights are guaranteed to drop items when you kill them. For those who don't know, if you kill a Stalfos Knight, it will drop an item. I believe in the vanilla game they're supposed to drop bombs.
Zeke, how do you feel about a free mold orm in Ice Palace?
You notice I've not been talking about it. That's how notable it is.
It's like I said, you can just jump on that and call it okay. Be done with it. How many eyes? Being asked in chat. Too many.
Not enough.
If it's more than 2, it's too many.
Which is why I'm saying not enough. It's going to have 1. It's going to be Cyclodor.
Will you stop speaking things into existence, please?
No.
Okay. And Garrison briefly forgetting that in any Randomizer script activated seed, the item is in the center of the room. For those who did not know that out there, that is how Randomizer operates. Whether you have a damage shuffle or Randomizer proper, the bosses will always drop the item in the center of a room. To make sure the item can't just appear out of bounds. Same behavior you see in Trinex Serena in Turtle Rock. If you happen to kill him just on the boundary of the screen. Again, Centi just kind of have it at ball here.
And just going to give a quick shout out. Thank you, Scholzer, for rating. So yeah, we're going to take get to take a look at this here Pyramid Fairy, and actually this will combo nicely into Pyramid Ledge and Catfish for Garrison if he so chose.
Have we seen Graveyard Ledge and King's 2? We haven't seen the boots checks at all yet from Garrison. He hasn't left the east side of the world.
Yeah, he focused on his dungeons.
Yeah, which is a very good call here, because now, you know, the more we get to look at, the more chance we can actually find the last couple things we need to finish. Of course, we know that Flute's just going to be hiding away from him for a little while here, but both Mire and Desert are also pendants.
So actually, that flute might not be important for Garrison.
Might not be important at all for all we know. This could be the creme de la creme right here, going into Pyramid Fairy.
Are you saying that this could be a fire rod?
Wouldn't that make this a Rule of Fire seed? Oh no.
Do you want it to be?
Never seen that before.
No, this is going to be a lamp.
That would still qualify as Rule of Fire. $300. Fairies.
Fairies.
And bombs. Nothing in the pyramid at all.
Ruby, our chat's turning into badgers.
Mushroom. We've already seen the mushroom from Cen7ipede, and Garrison's going to give us North Dark World, which I like this call, actually.
I mean, he just got the boots.
He got the boots. He's got the cape. We've already seen Bumper. But
he didn't check Bumper, though.
No, he didn't check Bumper, but he can have a look at it now. We also haven't been up the mountain yet. Pyramid Fairy, unfortunately, only had $300 and some blueberries, kind of like those that Garrison just got.
Delicious blueberries. Forbidden blueberries.
No, don't eat the forbidden blueberries.
You
are not a Dodongo. Stop it. It's a Graveyard Ledge. Garrison may yet go over to turn in the mushroom and check the, there's even more blueberries, and check the catfish item before calling it quits on this, so that depends.
He also might go turn in the magic powder with a mushroom and a red cane.
I'm going to say that is not on his mind based on him going directly out east.
Yep, but it was a possibility, though. Also, the graveyard is actually a blueberry farm.
I don't know of any blueberry farm that literally only yields 6 blueberries every season.
10. Because you have to. There's the 4 blueberries in the storage pots.
Shh. I'd say the odds of that are 20. We all right. Well, Sweet catfish. You think Garrison probably saves and quits and decides to go off the mountain? The mountain's logical with that flute, by the way.
It is.
That means the entire mountain, with the exception of rescuing the old man, Hera basement, because we can't, and beyond TR, depending on where the keys happen to be placed, going to Laserbridge, could be, somewhere that we want to be right now.
I'm going to admit to feeling dumb over here for a moment. I was like, why can't we do Hera basement? For those who aren't following, you need a fire source for Tower of Hera basement. Blue fire rod.
We do call it the blue fire rod, right? Oh, we're actually going to see the lumberjack check because Garrison didn't look at it before, so we'll have a better look. Pretty sure it's just a big 20.
So is it time to sequence break the mountain?
I mean, is it a sequence break? In Garrison's eyes, it is, in fact.
Yes. It's not.
I'm going to say we probably have a flute up here somewhere.
First, we're going to check the flute. Don't you mean lamp?
Yes. There's a flute that gets us up there to get our lamp.
Yes, we know what a flute is. It's in swamp.
Yep. We're blaming Trez for something. Okay, good.
Okay, so apparently we lost video, so something we wouldn't know as well from the commentary perspective.
Okay, so the next way Ricky is the best is what is said in chat. He is fantastic at handling these restreams, as he does oh so often. That's a map sitting on Spectacle Rock's top. What do we have? Within, we have a Quake Medallion. That may come in handy.
We're probably going to pick that up.
Yeah, we're not even thinking twice. We're just going for it.
Forgive us for any desynchronized commentary. We're doing our best with a couple of technical problems.
Yeah, so if we
Ricky
say
is doing
something
his
that
best
comes
to handle
out,
it.
if we say something that comes out either way after the fact or before you even see it on screen, that's we are aware of a desync issue, and we are doing our best to kind of make it work. We are going to see Tower of Hera in just a moment here on Garrison's side. Got some fancy footwear on that cactus now. So, do you think we're going to see a run to the pod boss at 1 heart? At 1 heart?
Looks like.
That's bold strategy, Cotton. Hope it pays off. I thought for a second, just take the death warp. You're at the front of the dungeon.
There's 3 hearts in the left pots. It's fine.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Well, we are going to see the Hera pot.
What don't we want to see?
The small key.
Why do we not want to see a small key?
Because it's a small key. To be completely honest, we don't want an item to be blocked by that small key in the basement when we don't have the means to check it without fire. There's the small key! We don't want it! Put it back!
So long as the fire rod's not in the basement, we'll be fine.
It's okay, the lamp's just on Moldorm. Or boss that is trying to be Moldorm anyway. This is more likely
You mean Mothula, right?
Actually, what if it's a cold stare? Actually is Moth.
I mean, we'd already seen one of everybody else who can be up here, so it actually wasn't the worst call of ours in the world. Now, if Moth has the lamp, we laugh, because... funny.
Because Moth, lamp. Oh, it's red.
So, East Death Mountain?
Sure hope so. I wonder how much it's going to just weigh on the mind there as we get to the later stages of this race. By the way, we've been here for an hour already? What the heck, man?
How have we been here for an hour? It's felt like 20 minutes. Is this what happens? Is this what people mean by time flies when you're having fun?
Wasn't that a comedy show in Canada at one point? This hour has 22 minutes. Anyway, if you haven't already done so, I'm going to invite you to follow these two fantastic runners who have agreed to be on Restream for us today so that we have a fantastic race to watch.
Also follow our tracker, Source Finch. Does great stuff.
And you might give a follow, too, to our Restreamer, because...
Nope. Well, yes, to the Restreamer.
Don't say nope.
I thought you were talking about us again.
You thought I was going to jump right at you, huh?
Yes.
No, Ricky puts out all kinds of content, in addition to being a fantastic Restreamer for broadcasts across ZSR, so give him a round of applause as well. And, yes, go follow Zeke.
No.
Do it.
Go follow Ruby.
No, all I do is play Link to the Past.
That's all I do.
It's a big lie. No, we played Final Fantasy IV yesterday. No, seriously. If you enjoy any of this content from any of our runners or volunteers, feel free to drop a follow.
Ruby and I might be this funny normally.
I'm pressing X to doubt. Also, I didn't see it, but Cen7ipede got through the Dark Turtle Room and has dispatched Pendant Armos Knights in Armos Knights in Pod.
It's Pendant Armos Knights, but in Crystal Pod.
Okay, I'll go with that one.
Well, it's Crystal Helmet in Pendant Easter, so...
This is fine. Alright, so we've opened up Turtle Rock as that Quake medallion that was in Spectacle Rock is the key. We don't have a fire rod. Is this going to be one of those, Zeke?
No.
Yes?
First, we're going to check Paradox Cave.
Okay. Fine, I'll give you that. First
Garrison is making me eat words.
Yeah, this I didn't know that this existed. Did we know what this is?
I don't know, we should ask Rick.
First, I think you always go down spiral to go up Paradox if you leave a portal there, by the way.
What's a spiral cave?
This place that Garrison just fell out of. If you didn't need confirmation that Turtle Rock was a pendant or a crystal, you got it anyway.
We know it's a crystal.
Yeah. At some point, maps and compasses just kind of lose their value and their luster.
Okay, maps lose their value and luster.
Compasses lose their value. If you're in boss mode, you don't care about the compass. You just kill whatever's in front of you.
Wrong. There's at least one instance where I like to know what boss is in front of me. Regardless of if I'm in boss mode.
Is it a wall
And that
monster?
is Skull Woods.
Okay, I'll give you that one. The Skull Woods Arena is the worst to fight in.
No, that's not even that. If I'm going through Skull Woods and I know there's a Coldster there, I will just lamp those torches. But I like to keep my magic in reserve for Cold Stairs and or Trinexus. I don't know about you.
I mean, we do have Bombos, so that's really not as big a concern.
But it's still worth considering. I'm saying it in general, but...
So it doesn't matter how many times you set up that bomb jump, it is still a slippery ledge, and I think anybody can just fall on the corner here. We have finally gotten to that point where Garrison is going to jump into Turtle Rock.
Were we able to get in?
Yeah, Quake was the entry for TR. Oh, and Cen7ipede is about to get her cane. So she'll be able to follow suit as she decides to come up the mountain. Chat asking, where was the flute? It was in the waterfall room in the back of Swamp Palace.
The flute that's not meaning much right now?
The flute that is all of the logic to get up here, to get your lamp out of Turtle Rock, right?
Lamp and Crystal Roller?
Like, lamp right here?
No, this is Fire Rod.
No, it's a key, actually. Oh, no. Lamp and Mimic Cave?
Fire Rod and Mimic Cave. Lamp and Crystal Roller to get to your Fire Rod and Laser Bridge.
That is a fun question in chat about whether the logic considers your ability to get to a boss in Skull Woods. With there's nothing more to do here.
I'm trying to think through what we have left, and I'm coming down to one conclusion.
And it's evil.
You like Skullwoods?
No.
Why did I do that? No, you like jazz type of tone?
Why do you think it's Skull Woods? We don't have a fire rod.
I thought I said Spike Cave.
You said Skull Woods.
I meant to ask about Spike Cave.
We were talking about Skull Woods. You know, for Garrison, do you like Swamp? Is the question for Garrison here. You know, that actually means we likely have progression here. Or
Harrow Basement.
I mean, we don't have fire!
Oh, right. Lamp is here for Harrow Basement.
No, it's not. Our progression's in either Mire or Desert.
So you're telling me we have to double dip Swamp?
I am telling you, we have to double dip Swamp.
I hate this.
You think we hate it? How do you think these runners feel playing it?
How do you think this Helma feels getting hit by a hammer?
Garrison will go into Swamp first because he needs to get his flute, because wouldn't you know, that actually is a required flute in the back of Swamp. I'm actually inclined to agree here.
So we have to go into Pendant Mire. Do you want to go into Pendant Mire?
Does anybody want to go into Pendant Mire? I mean, it's 4 items, but it's still a slow 4 items, and you've got 3 keys littered about.
Only at least 3 are in logic.
Chad's saying, I don't even want to go into Crystal Mire. Can you really blame anybody for not wanting to go into Mire unless they're you? Because it's your favorite dungeon?
I mean, I obviously want to go into Mire. You've called my cross keys races before.
Yeah, you conveniently forget where it is.
See, I'll make fun of anybody. I'll make fun of the runners. I'll make fun of my co-com. I'll make fun of myself.
Don't make fun of yourself, please. That's my friend you're talking about.
Yeah, and your friend deserves getting made fun of.
We don't see. Here's what's even more disturbing about Mire and Desert. One, well, Desert is kind of meh. It's a very simple layout to get your items relatively quickly, and the boss is blocked by fire. And Misery Mire is, well, the left side of the dungeon is blocked by fire. So where's our fire?
I hate it. Thanks. I'm going back to bed now.
What?
I hate it. I hate this entire concept of where this fire is. So I'm going to go back to bed. I'm not really.
I do actually get mad about Lamp and Mire. Good night, Seed. I guess it's me, and just me. It's the Salty Wyvern Show! Starring Lamp and Mire! A dumpster Mire. Oh my god, I love it.
No!
Yes! It could we didn't see Desert, right? Did Cen7ipede look in Desert?
No, Cen7ipede did not look in
she
Desert.
She just checked everything in the checks around the dungeons and then said no?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I can't blame her, but okay.
First, let's go visit Left Side Swamp again.
To get our
map to Skullwoods.
Yep. What is it about Randomizer modes that make us just lose it?
You see, our brains are included in Boss Shuffle.
Oh.
What's a brain, actually?
Centi going for this bomb jump. If you, I mean, not gonna get it by hooking the tile. By the way, you can hook that tile. collected the item, you can actually hook onto that tile. Entrance brain people out there. Oh, did Helma end up with Zeke's brain?
That explains the headache. That explains the headache I have now. We've hammered Helma's mask several times. Don't you love when chat plays along with us?
I see chat calling for a lamp on Desert Torch. I'm like, oh, that's how it... But,
we're just going to take the entire torch with us now.
Does it even have anything left to light if it's been sitting on that torch all this time? Garrison about to get the sad news that the item in the back of Swamp is not the fire rod.
There's a reason you and I call the waterfall check the fire rod check.
You know, the last time I thought about it, it was actually there, too. I think I cursed you under my breath.
That sounds unusual. Usually you curse me louder than that. And up, and down.
I hate this staircase.
I hate this staircase. I hate the one that goes upstairs to the dungeon lobby, because if you happen to do this dungeon in reverse and go up those stairs, it also tends to do that.
There's a reason some of us call it the dumb staircase. It is kind of dumb. Hey, I heard you like doing Diver Down, so here, do it again.
Aren't you glad this isn't the fire rod, because Garrison doesn't have any magic left?
Yeah, doesn't he have a green... No. Yes, he has... I think he got at least one green potion from Waterfall. There's the flute. There's the reaction to the flute, as that is his last location, and he's probably not happy to see it.
I felt that one.
Cen7ipede briefly forgetting that actually, even though we've coded the randomizer to allow the gold sword to do damage to Mothula, that's because we reduced the gold sword damage down to tempered level damage. So if you still spin with a tempered sword, it won't touch Moth. Moth is immune to that class of damage.
I'm going to assume that sometimes trackers eat inputs, everybody. So be nice to trackers.
We mean the people and not the software. You can be as mean to the software as you want. Centi, no! Centi,
no!
No! Well, we were talking about it in jest, but here we are. Cen7ipede is in her basement and is going to go through the coffee break. Well, not even get the coffee break, because that tile was out for blood.
So
okay, this counts. Unfortunately, we'll go to the store and be like, well, I guess if I rub two arrows together, will they spark flame? Just camping survival tips. You ever waited through this for like a dungeon item too, like a map or a compass? Be like, why did I do this? She like remembered. Okay, good. Just light the torches with... it's criminal that you can't damage anything with the lamp, because it's literally spewing fire. And you can't light torches with bombos.
Can I just stab the tempered sword into it?
I mean... It looks like it's hot. Something should catch fire if it's that hot, right? Garrison has no magic. He's gonna have to go into desert first. Maybe
that's the right answer.
It could be. We do have, again, a total of 4 items in each dungeon here. Well, not each dungeon. We have a total of 4 items in desert. Normally it has 2, but maps and compasses are shuffled around.
I mean, both dungeons have 4 items.
You know, actually...
You were right the first time.
You know, I was accidentally clever? I don't make this up as I go along. That is a big key on the torch. It's not a lamp.
There has to be a key in the first 2 checks here.
This is true. In fact, both keys could be the first 2 checks. Let's see if Garrison remembers which one of these is the magic pots. There are a few.
For the record, there's one in the... There's a magic pot in the room above the right side of the lobby.
There's also a couple in this room. There's your fire rod just sitting in desert.
Okay, and yes, this is the music of the Etrian Odyssey series.
And that fire rod, I believe, actually counts as our go mode item in this case?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that fire rod puts us in go. So at 1 hour, 19 minutes, and like 20 seconds, Garrison is the first of our 2 runners in go mode. And remembering this over here, that's actually, it's a feel-bad missed opportunity for Cen7ipede, because she was in the area with that flute early on and just decided not to dive into either pendant dungeon.
I mean, you don't want to have to dive into those dungeons.
If I wanted to pick one, I would always pick desert.
Absolutely, it's the faster one.
Of course, it's more compact. And again, with that flute and the mirror, it's telling me something's going to be in that area. There's got to be something in one of the 2, but I'd rather do desert before Mire, if I can help it. Again, Mire's just a mess. Yeah, little trivia here that we were talking about in chat. The Etrian Odyssey series was composed by the same guy who did ActRaiser, who's also the same guy famous for Streets of Rage. That'd be Mr. Yuzo Koshiro.
Mm-hmm.
One of our favorite composers. I believe he also worked on some of the Yeast series in its earlier times,
Some of
too.
them, yes.
We might not hear it tonight. Centipede's got another fantastic game series soundtrack that we also typically like to use between myself, Zeke, and a couple other runners. She's got Octopath Traveler going on. If you haven't heard Octopath's music or played the games, which is something we need to do.
Quit reminding me.
I haven't done it yet either. But back on track, here's Blind in probably one of the worst places to fight Blind. The only other place I would say it's not good is on ice.
You mean blind on a floor that doesn't work is bad?
What do you mean the floor doesn't work? The floor works perfectly fine. Oh, Garrison's going to opt to drink a little bit of Mountain Dew here. Hint, not sponsored by Pepsi.
Unless I want to sponsor ZeldaSpeedRuns.
And product placement. Get some money out of it, why not? And, well, okay, we are done with Blind.
That fanfare still gives me nostalgia for when I first played. Yes, I've been being fanboying over this music for most of the stream,
So, this is also going to be a moment where Cen7ipede goes, oh, well, shoot, what do I have left? And all she really has left is going back to those pendant dungeons over in the southwestern corner of the map here. Question is, does she decide to tackle Mire or Desert first?
Goes for Deathworm and burns the fairy. That fire HUD is in the map chest of Desert Palace.
And there's a Trinex back here in Swamp, so you had to come into Swamp to get your flute, to go to Desert to get your fire rod, with book yet unknown and not accessible at this point of the game. Gross.
Did you mean book and GT?
A book could be on the path of what we currently have.
Oh no.
Oh, we're gonna go into Spike Cave with like nothing to work with here. And we've already burned our fairy. She does have green goo. This is gonna be awfully close. Oh, Centi, you should be dashing.
For the record, Ruby, you're behind again.
Oh, fantastic.
Just keep me up to date on that. That was a little more wide. Or I'm ahead, one or two.
Yeah, and it's hard for me to know, to be completely honest with you.
That's why we tell you.
Here's Trinex. I should say, here goes Trinex. Easy fight with the Tempered Sword.
Better than with the Fighter Sword. North Dark World for Centi. Okay, let's quickly think through our bosses we've seen. Helma, Armos, Mothula, Trinex, Blind, Vitreous, Moldworm. Trying to think of what we can have for bad ideas on ice.
You have Lanmo on ice. You could have a duplicate on ice. I don't think... Can Cold Steer spawn down there? I don't think he can.
I think he can.
He can?
I don't think Cold Steer's limited.
No, I don't think so. That's why you can play in Singularity.
Oops, all Cold Steers.
Oops, all Cold Steers. Oh no.
Cold Steer on ice would be fitting.
So we haven't seen Lanmo, Vidi, and Cold Steer. So we probably have... Oh, we haven't seen Argus. We have seen Vidi. We haven't seen Argus. That's the one we're missing.
You mixed up the eyeball bosses again. Easy to do. There's
they're
plenty
all
of them.
Eyeballs. The entire game is eyeballs.
Oops, all eyeballs.
We wanted to make sure we could see it. We already found the big key in Turtle Rock. We'll probably go get the roller room checks to make sure we have enough keys to advance. We're being asked where that fire rod was. Again, it was in Desert Palace in the map chest, the center check of the dungeon.
Where are we going, Centi? Centi's not done Big Bomb.
I'm gonna get that extra $300 and 3 blueberries. Garrison is back in Turtle Rock, and this time we are here to run through and call it good.
So what boss do you think is down here?
I'm gonna say we probably have Lanmo here in TR. But it's probably also just Argus, because why not? And you know, he could also just check, because I think we have the compass to pretty much everywhere now.
He's not going to check, though.
Yeah, why not?
I'm gonna say our boss today will be... I'm feeling a little spicy. Let's go with Duplicate Armos Knights.
That's... I wouldn't call that spicy.
It's spicy because then they're not... The easy boss fight's not in GT.
Hey, Zeke. Hey.
Yeah?
You know what we still haven't found?
The bug net? Oh wait, we have that. I never said I was smart.
So hard.
I can't read.
Our trackers got it. We still haven't seen the lamp, and the game is going to expect us to have the lamp before coming down here.
We're going to pod.
Where are you going, Centi? You have No magic. Does Centi think she skipped a check in ice?
Centi did skip all of right side.
Oh, she skipped all of right ice. Okay, she just went straight down to the boss. Okay.
I'm amazed Garrison didn't get hit there. Centi didn't have Cane to keep in mind, so going right side wasn't exactly an easy task.
No, she didn't have Cane. I'm still surprised you don't just come around and take care. I don't know. Like, Cane does make these few checks faster. This is the big key, and it's vanilla location, though.
My friends in the FF4 community are now asking questions, so...
That doesn't look a lot like Cecil to me. It's more like a Cid. They are asking you questions, right? Yeah, I don't like double dipping ice here. I feel like you have to commit to this fade. You just go get things that you haven't looked at. Again, especially since she was in the right spot and just said no to... A little word of advice to anybody who's younger trying to get into the randomizer here. Don't weigh whether or not you want to go into a dungeon based solely on what prize the boss has. Trust me, that is how you get burned, by having the mentality of, oh, it's a pendant dungeon. Clearly it's going to have trash in it.
Unlike some randomizers, unrequired dungeons can have progression. Because I know some of the more later Zelda randos actually junk their unrequired dungeons, usually due to the dungeon length. Hi, Argus.
Yeah, there's a pretty high chance that when you've got 8 items in an Eastern... Oh, not 8. You can't have 8 items in Eastern Palace unless you're playing Key Drop.
What's funny is when you turn on Key Drop, it does actually have 8.
It does actually have 8. It also ends up having small keys. Anyway. Oh, she's going to go into Meyer first. Centi, no. I get it. I really do. Alright, well that is Garrison's 7th Crystal, and wouldn't you know it, he's on the mountain already. So one, we have a big game. We have a big guessing
we like
game.
to key.
The big guess we like to game. Big guessing...
We swear we know how to speak English.
Do you want a big guess or a little guess? 1 to 22. I'm going to try to put a straight face on for the rest of the scene.
Don't worry, my straight face has fallen off.
No, don't say that.
Anyways, where do you want to see his big key?
I've been guessing Rando Room lately, so I'm going to say it's just going to be in Compass Room. Apparently I'm not the only one who thinks so.
Rewarding DM route today. Yeah, I think it's going to be Stalfus Room to reward this route. Rest in peace, Bob.
The other question we have is, we haven't seen a couple different bosses. Are we going to see them in our path here? So we have 2 unknowns yet, in Lanmo and Cold Stare. And then we have 2 duplicates. We're not going to see one unless we get the map check of Meyer. I don't think she looked at the map to Meyer, did Sunny?
Don't think so.
Okay.
Alright, it's not in DM's room, so I'm wrong. Let's go right.
Watch just be in the right check of Hope Room, because why not?
Left check, if it's going to be in the Hope Room.
Hey, if you guessed 1...
You were wrong.
Then you're ahead of Garrison on the seed. See, that's the thing, is we call it Hope Room for a reason. You hope the big key's there so you don't have to go on a big wild goose chase. So GG to whoever guessed 6 today. Now we still have 2 bosses up here. And we have one of them's probably a duplicate of something.
Vanilla Landmos and duplicate Helmasaur.
You want to see Helma at the top of GT? Ew.
I actually do, because I actually think that's one of the more skill expressive ones for that room.
I'm gonna say we're gonna see Cold Stare at the top of GT.
You just want to punch the hovers, don't you?
I mean, no comment.
For those who aren't aware, Cold Stare shell messes things up, and you have to at least break the shell before you hover.
Ice Helma would be an acceptable substitute for Ice Trinex. I mean, there's no such thing as an acceptable substitute for Ice Trinex.
Please do not try to substitute out your Ice Trinex in your cooking recipes. It will not turn out the same.
There's the Fire Rod pickup for Centi. She is out of there.
I'm not sure if you can hover and then break the shell with, like, Bombos or Fire Rod shots, because, you see, I don't hover.
Chat wants to see now duplicate vanilla bosses. Well, we'll find out in this room if we have anything exciting. It's probably vanilla. It is, in fact, vanilla. And we powdered the bunny beam, so we are now in run around and hopefully shoot some arrows at some point mode, which we're going to opt for spins, which is perfectly fine here. Tempered Sword makes easy work of Lamellus.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you powder that bunny beam in the previous room, it actually resets the RNG of how the Landmos will appear. The longer you spend in that room, too, the more different pattern you'll get. So whereas if you just dash across, you'll always see the same kind of scripted pattern. You can just shoot a silver arrow into each head.
Meanwhile, quick work of the Wizard rooms.
Most satisfying rooms in the entire game to use that Cane of Samaria. And Centi headed to the back of Skull Woods here. Kind of scant on magic, in fact now out of magic entirely after this Bombos use. Has 2... We don't have a lamp. I hope she has a green potion. This is not going to work. If she has a blue potion, she'll have to chug it.
This seed does not want you to have magic in your magic meter, does it?
Not necessarily.
Ooh! If this is a Cold Stare, then we have one tiny, tiny problem, potentially.
What would that be?
Oh, we have silvers, never mind.
We silvers.
I was gonna say, we'd be low on magic for this Ganon fight.
True, we also have Bombos.
Alright, Bombos works on the shell.
I hope so. It's actually a duplicate Vitreous, so Cold Stare sitting either at the bottom of this dungeon or waiting in Desert or Mire, where we will never see her.
Along with the second duplicate. And I believe Ricky's got everything back up for Centi's side. What's your favorite strategy for dealing with this blind on conveyors?
If I have sword beams, I like to try to take advantage of that. Otherwise, I'm probably playing kickball, or kick block as it were, with Samaria, or at the very least, trying to stay out of harm's way until he comes down.
I remember last time I fought this, my strategy ended up being use the hook shot and go left and right across the side of those 2 blocks. just abusing iframe sillies on the bottom of the screen. Meanwhile, the boss shuffle's over. We're back to vanilla. Aghanim cannot be moved. Ganon cannot be moved.
And at this point, though, too, it's just these last couple bosses, and then we can put this seed good night for Garrison. And Tempered and Silver's going to make for a pretty comfortable Ganon fight here, which is a little bit more than we can say for this blind fight, and Cen7ipede gets through it. Again, Skullwood's the worst arena to fight basically any boss of this game. And Blind is one of the many that are just like, ugh, no thank you.
There is one boss that is easier in Blind's in the Skullwoods arena than their normal arena. And that is poor Moldorm.
Moldorm is unfortunately just the saddest boss that could appear anywhere outside of Hera. Or GT, but he's not as bad in the Moldorm 2 room as he is in, you know, the top of Hera. Something about there not being a center hole.
Or side holes, even. My favorite thing for Skullwood's arena, though, is Argus, on grounds that the conveyor belt messes with the movement, and Argus just goes horizontally.
Yeah, Argus can literally just go side to side. And that's it. Makes hitting him a lot easier, unless you don't have much by way of offense, like a hammer, for instance. But you need a sword. The hammer might be better than having just one sword.
TJ Maelstrom is right. Culture at least turns off the conveyor belt when its shell goes down. Silver, my one true weakness.
Indeed. And here comes the Silver.
Gotta land these last few shots. Ganon is not giving us good positioning.
No, he's just corner to corner on us here, and that... Oh, careful with the fire bats there, Garrison.
This looks like a double, though.
Yeah, that should do it. And it does. Let's see the 1x3 bridge appear out of nowhere and be our route to salvation tonight. We have WGarrison having dispatched Ganon and solving this McBoss puzzle.
Get your GG's in chat. The bot will tell us the time soon, I think. Yep, there's the time.
There it is. GG to Garrison. Cen7ipede going through Swamp. Going to go take care of that Trinex that's been waiting in the back of that fire rod for so long.
And I believe that is the sound of one WGarrison joining us here in the commentary booth. And GG's.
Hello and GG's.
Hello there. Tell us what you thought about this one. And by the way, we also have Cen7ipede joining us. She's still running on the screen, but we can tell you that she does pitch a forfeit in just about a minute here. Which at this point of the race, it's like, we've been sitting here for 2 hours and searching for fire. How long? Where is that lamp, do you guys think?
Oh, lamps.
Probably fire like fire. Probably in TR somewhere.
Hear me out. Right side desert.
Could be. I was thinking it was going to be a Meyer.
See, I've been calling for Lamp and Meyer, but Cen7ipede did give us a good look at what was in Meyer, and we did not come out with a lamp.
No.
Could be
But I was
fire
fire
locked.
locked.
Depending on the key layout, it could be fire locked in left side.
Oh, it's gross. It's a
This
gross
is
thought.
true. I kind of had it made up in my mind that I wasn't going to go into desert because it was a pendant, and that's where I messed up. Looking for that fire.
It was the fire rod that kept you at bay. I was like clinging to the cane of Samaria as my salvation in this seed.
No, it's an interesting tale of two routes, because when you stepped out of Swamp Palace, Cen7ipede went in. And we find out, A, that we had a Trinex that we can't do anything about because Fire Rod's not in Swamp. But B, we have a flute and we don't know if we need it or not yet. Meanwhile, you're pulling Boots and Kane and vanilla GP and all that fun stuff from two bosses that are on opposite ends of their vanilla spot.
Yeah, what was that boss location, by the way?
That was funny. The Eastern Helma and the Pod Armos was great.
As I called it, Pendant Armos is in Crystal Eastern, and Crystal Helma is in Pendant... Okay, hold on. Pendant Armos is in Crystal Pod, and Crystal Helma is in Pendant Eastern. I still can't talk to this day.
Words are hard. It's okay.
And if you haven't already thrown some GGs out for Centi, this is the point in the broadcast where she had dropped the forfeit in the race room. But this was a well-run race. That flute ended up being the answer, but just not going into... You didn't want to go into Desert or Mire?
No, I didn't want to go into either. They were pendants, and I thought I was going to find my fire elsewhere, and like the front of TR maybe, or like Dark Death Mountain, but I was wrong. So when I finally realized it, I knew I was cooked. So
it's a gamble. Gambling is fun.
Gambling is fun. I had a blast.
This seat had a lot of stuff just kind of going for it once we got the Dark World thing figured out, I guess is the word I would use. Which was relatively easy to say. With that Moon Pearl
as fast as that Dark World access came, I was like, okay, I'm going to do a couple more checks and I'm going, because I felt like it was reading Dark World for me.
Is this the first game between you two?
Nah, this was game 2.
This was game 2. Okay.
We had a fat tease yesterday. Yeah. Yep. No, it's all good.
So yeah. Where does that put you guys? Put you two in terms of this group?
I'm 0-4. I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna make it, but I would love to spoil somebody's fun.
Looks like you got 2 more opportunities then. Because the rest of the group's been kind of shuffling around a little bit from what it looks like.
Yeah.
I haven't really been paying attention to the standings, but we'll see. We'll see.
I'm 3-1 now, but Tyrannus, Moordeeps, and I all kind of traded wins around a circle with each other. And the 3 of us all still have to play again to actually figure out what's actually going on in this group.
Like we were, Ruby and I were saying in the beginning, little experience can show in this randomizer, and Garrison, you have plenty of experience with this randomizer.
Enough experience to dodge a Trinex and swamp for the entire scene.
At least you knew it was there.
I walked in, I looked at the map, saw the Trinex, and I'm like, this is like an ice rod situation. I'm not doing swamp right now. There's the Eastern and Pod. I didn't know that Eastern was a pendant at the time. I'm like, I could do the 2 of them. At this point, I'm not likely to run into a Trinex anymore. I can kill everything else, so I'm like, Swamp's gonna be a last location, and that flute was a hard last location. I had nothing left.
See, I did the opposite. I saw a Trinex, and I was like, maybe Fire Rod's in here, and I went inside, and I found the flute instead, and then I started rolling from there.
Funny enough, Ruby and I have been known to call that check that the flute was in the Fire Rod chest. Inadvertently, it was again today.
It's a little confirmation bias, because every time we're going into Swamp looking for a Fire Rod, wouldn't you know it? Either the Fire Rod or an item leading to the Fire Rod is in that waterfall room. Call it what you want. That flute is in a bad spot to double dip Swamp for a Trinex.
Yeah.
That was a gross flute, and I feel like I kind of lucked up on it.
Ruby, I kind of hog questions. Do you want to ask anything?
I'm not sure if I've got much else left to ask. We saw almost everything. I think the only things we didn't see we didn't see a cold stare anywhere. That's probably just sitting in desert, right?
Might be.
Like,
Well, we didn't.
It could be, because I never checked my map. I had the compass, but I never checked it, because I got my fire rod and I got out.
Yeah, luckily the seed was a little bit kinder in terms of being able to give you some stuff to do with what the seed wanted you to do rather early on, which you don't usually see in an MC boss kind of seed. You might get like an early boss mode, but no actual movement items or anything like that. Like hookshot showing up early, flute being in a bad spot, mirror being literally right there. There was something interesting that you guys did. I want to point out though. Garrison, you decided to just clean up Thieves Town in all in one shot. And then Cen7ipede, you went straight to the boss and then came back in. Two different schools of thought. Do you have any thoughts on, in a boss shuffle situation, do you have a reason for a preference one way or the other?
Not really. I kind of, it was kind of more of like, okay, let's see what this is. Okay, it's Viddy. Okay, I can do this. Let's just go ahead and get Viddy out of the way, and then I'll mirror out.
I made a decision when going in that I was just full clearing Thieves Town at that point. Like, I still didn't have enough stuff to reliably do a lot of other things. I mean, hookshot being in there was kind of like the thing that really gave me the path forward to do some other things. But when I make the decision that I'm just full clearing Thieves Town the first trip in, it's just easier to go with the muscle memory of doing the normal loop, and I think it's probably quicker. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't timed it, but
Honestly, I feel like it would be quicker, but I was just like, okay, McBoss, Viddy, kill Viddy.
And at least he had silver skill I'm interested with.
yeah.
Yeah,
All those
Silver's
silvers came in very clutch.
Silver's early is a fantastic thing in a boss shuffle, because then your Vitreous, your Armos, your Helmasaur, your Landmos, they all become easier fights as long as you can hit what you're shooting at.
I feel like I pulled off the hardest trick in the game. I didn't bomb open the attic in boss shuffle.
You are incredible. I would have.
I bombed it open on muscle memory, and I already killed Viddy. It was just muscle memory. I was like, oops.
I didn't even notice that until someone pointed it out in chat.
So, I guess my last question has to do with future races. When would we see our next races between you guys and your group mates?
I raced Tyrannus 4 p.m. Thursday, and I raced More Deep Sunday at 2. And that's Eastern. I'm sorry, I just assume everybody's Eastern.
I mean, the community kind of does a schedule time in Eastern time.
Okay.
Preliminarily, I have my race against More Deeps at 7 on Wednesday. It hasn't been officially confirmed, but I think it's just a matter of checking the box. It's just like, okay, yep, we agree. And then my last race is against Tyrannus at 2 o'clock on Sunday.
Those should be exciting races.
Funny enough, with our group, we we all scheduled races for 2 o'clock each day this past weekend. So all 4 of us were racing both days at the same time.
And on Sunday, it's going to be the same thing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Most impressive. That when you got groups that are, you've got some groups that are just purely international, and to play the scheduling game when you've got, like my group last year, you had one person in Pacific time zone, that was me. You had one person in Brazil, one person in Germany and one person in France.
Oh,
That was a scheduling nightmare, and you still managed to make it happen, you know?
Poor Tyrannus. I think he's in Germany, and the other three of us are all East Coast U.S.
At least it's the 6-hour difference and not the 9-hour difference.
Yeah, it's the 6-hour difference.
It could be worse. One of you could be Pacific. But, I think that does it for me. Do you guys have any final thoughts from the seed or on the group?
Oh, I just want to say thank you, Zeke. Thank you, Ruby, for calming this race. Thank you, Ricky, for restreaming this. And thank you to Sorcerer Finch for being the tracker for this race. Without you guys, this doesn't happen. Thanks so much.
yes, I want to thank the whole crew. Thank you so much for restreaming this. It was a pleasant surprise. I want to thank everybody for watching. I know my stream lagged for a little bit there, but hopefully you guys were entertained as much as I had fun entertaining you guys. So thank you.
Yeah, we apologize if we caused any tech issues. We got the ping about the bit rates, I know, but my bit rate's a bit high and higher than what.
Garrison, you have twice my streaming bit rate.
We will admit that ping might have been because of you.
We were having some issues on the back end.
Sorry about that. I can turn it down.
It makes us look like profits or reverse profits. Take your pick.
I didn't think much of it, and I haven't ever messed with the bit rate, but I can turn it down.
All right, so with that, we're going to go ahead and close this off. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I put everyone's links in the chat. Please give everybody a follow. Coming up on ZSR later on tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, so in about an hour on this channel, we have the lower bracket finals, game 1 for the Zelda 2 Randomizer Max Randall Tournament between Jay Coper and Level Engine. And then at 10:10 p.m. Eastern on ZSR2, we have another Link to the Past Randomizer Challenge Cup match, James FNX versus myself, because one of the restreamers decided to grab that one. And on Tuesday, tomorrow at 3:10 p.m. Eastern, we have Adion Jack Rick versus Gritisham for a Challenge Cup, and then Amarith versus Zeke Highwind at 5:10 p.m. Eastern. So a lot of Challenge Cup matches coming up tonight and tomorrow, so hope to find something you want to watch. And with that, we're going to go and sign off here. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Hope you had a wonderful time, and have a fantastic rest of your night. Bye!